Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix this bad boy together. Guys, we've got to talk about something pretty serious. The rhetoric in our nation right now, coming from the Democrats around the brown shirts, the secret police, that is, the ICE agents and the Border Patrol, and all the pressure that's being amplified from the media is driving crazy people to do crazy things. And all the while, they're telling us that we can't have our gun rights. While they're ramping this pressure up, just like they did in 2020, they're telling us that we can't have gun rights. Now, what I'm going to walk you through right now is the CBP, or the Border Patrol, and also ICE agents who are actively being ambushed, and the media is so oddly enough quiet, but all of a sudden something's coming back in vogue that is not popular: accountability. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing right now. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because every time that you do, you dispel the YouTube algorithm and its efforts to dispel your freedom. And that is important. All right, let's get into this. Make sure you follow me at Braden LOA, where we cover all of this. Okie dokie. Let's dive into this. We touched on this in my live stream yesterday, right when it happened, because it happened right before I went live. So the shooting at the Texas Border Patrol office, 3 injured and the gunman killed. You're not going to hear me play sad violins for someone who set out to murder someone else and they got taken care of. I'm just not going to be sad about that. That's one version of accountability. I'm not really talking about that. I'm going to talk to you in a second about the 10 charges of assault and attempted murder on federal officers. That's coming in a second. But I want to bring something to the attention that every one of you need to know. This shooting happened about 4 hours separate from this article from Axios. This is all about the rhetoric. This is all about ramping up the pressure and driving the emotion to make crazy people do crazy things. And then the benefit for them is they get to take our gun rights. That's in their little calculation, okay? The grassroots wants more. Some of them having suggested what we really need to do is be willing to get shot when visiting ICE facilities or federal agencies, a third House Democrat told Axios. Our own base is telling us that what we're doing is not good enough, that there needs to be blood to grab the attention of the press and the public, the lawmakers said. A fourth House Democrat said constituents have told them civility isn't working and to prepare for violence to protect our democracy. They are actively amping up the pressure to defend the democracy, even though it's not a democracy, it's a constitutional republic. But don't let facts get in the way of a good narrative. Genuinely, they're using the same words: prepare for violence to defend our democracy. What is the rhetoric and the language you heard from the mainline DNC, the Democrat National Committee, around Donald Trump going into the election? A threat to our democracy. 2 years solid of it. Look at that. It's popping up where basically, I can't make a direct tie. I can't say this was cited, but the point is, the Axios article I just read to you is amping up the pressure from Democrat-affiliated sources. Then 4 hours later, after that article gets dropped, we have a shooting at a Texas Border Patrol office where 3 injured and a gunman is killed. Guys, this individual sat there with a rifle and tactical gear and waited for Border Patrol to go into their office. Look, you can see the bullet wounds right there. I don't even care about the right one. I'm talking about the left one, on the windows, on the doors. They are amping up the pressure because they feel like it's going to give them a political advantage. And what's happening is it's raising the temperature in the country beyond reasonable levels. That's why crazy people are doing crazy things like this. All right, I'm going to play this one for you. And this is something that I saw last night. The filming of this is about 10:50 p.m. Central Time. So I'm going to show you what just dropped, the federal charges, because this is really important when I show you this and then the next clip. Watch this. It's not just the Border Patrol. It's also ICE.
We're here to tell you that late at night on July 4th, Friday night at approximately 10:37 p.m., at the Prairieland ICE Detention Center in Alvarado, Texas. 10 to 12 individuals.
All right, I'm going to stop you real quick. That's important. The Prairieland Alvarado ICE facility. Remember that. All right, let's keep going.
Dressed in black military-style clothing, began shooting fireworks and engaging in acts of vandalism at the facility. And this was part of an organized attack. Today, my office has charged 10 individuals with 3 counts of attempted murder of a federal officer. Each of the 10 are also charged with 3 counts of discharging a firearm in relation to a crime of violence. Each of these defendants faces a mandatory prison term of 10 years and up to life in prison. An additional co-conspirator was charged with obstruction of justice and conspiracy for attempting to conceal and destroy evidence in relation to the attack, and he faces up to 10 years in prison. Let's discuss the incident. It was a planned ambush with the intent to kill ICE corrections officers. Make no mistake, this was not a so-called peaceful protest. It was indeed an ambush.
All right, so I want to point out a few things that are very important here. The ICE detention facility officers, these are not the guys that are going out into the population and getting everybody who's not actively a citizen, okay? These are the guys who are sitting at the actual facility. They were targeted for an ambush to murder them. Now all of these people, 10 of them, have just been arrested and charged for 10 years if they get convicted for attempted murder of a federal officer. Now, here's the really important thing that I want to point out as we go to the next one. It says in here, charging with a firearm, and that she never mentioned firearms. She mentioned fireworks. So my first thought was, what's that about? Is that fireworks or is it firearm? Because if they're classifying fireworks as a firearm, we have a different problem in the conversation. That's not what happened. I dug deeper. Look, this right over here is at CBS Texas News. Listen to this one where they actually talk about the firearm, and it's the same thing. Remember what I told you, that place near Alvarado? Watch this.
Facility in Alvarado. It happened around 11 last night on Sunflower Lane near the Prairieland Detention Center. Right now, that building is being used by Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. Police say they were responding to reports of a suspicious person. That officer saw a person who appeared to be armed, and police say when that officer tried to engage with that person, they were shot at. The officer was hit in the neck but survived.
All right, so there's the other side of the story. You would think that the federal officer right here would actually say that, but whatever. There's the other side of the story. The ICE agent was actually shot in the neck by a firearm. So there's the tie-in. When she's charging them with firearms charges, that's because they actually discharged them and they actually hit an ICE agent in the neck. What you're looking at is a direct connection to ramping up the pressure and the rhetoric, because they do not have anything on the policy side. They only have the emotion, and so they are cranking that bad boy up to the point where the crazy organized people will do it. You have something right here this morning where the CBP officers were ambushed with a rifle from a man in a tactical gear at their location. Good guys shot the bad guy with a gun. Then you've got 10 individuals charged and arrested with attempted murder for planning the ambush of ICE agents in Alvarado, Texas. And in this one is the details where they actually got shot while they did it. And then they arrested all 10, and they're going to put them in jail for over 10 years, hopefully under the jail. What you are looking at right now is an overt reaction to an increase in rhetoric coming from the Democrat Party, then being multiplied by the media. The things that they are doing is exactly like Trump 1.0. It is no different. The only thing different is the intensity. Accountability is actually coming to these people. And I want accountability for the rest of them. But that's what's going on in this one. Make sure you stay tuned, and I will show you a little bit more of this if I can find some more, and some other things that are going on in the live stream later today around noon Eastern time. I hope everyone has an amazing day, and I will see you on that live. I'm Braden, out.